Hi there, I'm Cam Sellings for Region Media. We all know residential real estate is spiralling out of control at the moment, but what about commercial real estate? Over the next few minutes, we're going to take a look at the changing trends of commercial real estate here in the nation's capital. And to help us do that, well, we've called in the experts. Andrew Smith is Director at the Civium Property Group and joins us. Hi, Andrew.
G'day, Cam. Thank you.
Give us an idea of what commercial real estate looks like in Canberra.
Sure, there's multiple parts in the commercial real estate sector within Canberra. That can go for anything from shops, retail, restaurants, hospitality type venues to office buildings, industrial warehouses. There can be medical centres, childcare centres, virtually anything that a business operates out of.
So what sort of changes have we seen, especially over the last 20 months with the pandemic?
Yep. What we've seen is, although the prices and values of commercial properties haven't gone up as much as residential, they've definitely gone up. So probably in the 10 to 20% bracket. And the trends that we're seeing are there's a trend to a lot of the buyers are now looking for industrial properties. There seems to be more businesses that are looking for large warehouse or industrial spaces to operate out of. And the buyers have been following that trend because they feel like those are the types of businesses that'll be long-standing and safe investments for them.
And so we know we have those sorts of structures in the semi-industrial areas, Fyshwick, right where we are here in Phillip. Is there a lack of stock or is there plenty?
No, there is a lack of stock at the moment. There's been a bit of a shortage of land released to the market in the last 1 to 2 years. And as those businesses have expanded, they've soaked up the vacant premises and now there's a shortage of supply. So that in turn then drives up the price and the value of the property.
So we know, of course, that there's lots of people who have invested in residential real estate, but that almost sounds a little bit scary for first-time investors in commercial land. Yeah. What does that look like?
Look, the biggest differences that people will see between residential and commercial is the length of lease that they will get from their tenant. On the commercial side, usually 3 years is the shortest lease length, and most of them are 5 or sometimes 10 or 15. Whereas in residential, you generally have a 12-month lease with your tenant. You'll have fixed annual rent reviews where the rent goes up by 3% approximately every year, and you only renegotiate those rent terms once the lease expires at the 3 or 5 or 10 year mark. The risk and the differences are you will get a higher annual rent return from your commercial tenant than you would a residential, but there are risks associated with the lease-up periods that it can take if tenancies become vacant.
Sure. And so what sort of mistakes do you see people making when they venture into commercial real estate as an investment?
Yeah, sure. The biggest thing that people need to be wary of is the tenant that's in the building. And because you're in a relationship with them, but if their business isn't trading well and they can't pay the rent, then there's a risk to you as the landlord. So the biggest thing for people to investigate and make sure they're comfortable with is the strength of the tenant in the building.
And I would imagine, again, off the back of the last 20 months and the pandemic, those relationships between tenant and investor have become much stronger. They've needed to be, right?
There definitely has to have been, yeah, because the lockdown and the different types of lockdown affected different parts of commercial property. For example, when pubs and bars and hairdressers and personal services groups couldn't operate, then there was a code of conduct that was instigated or put in place where the tenants and the landlords had to reasonably negotiate rent relief for a period of time that they were affected. So yes, very, very testing period for both tenants and landlords.
There's two different sorts of investors. There's first-timers and then there's people who have established portfolios. So for first-time investors, what should they do?
I think the first thing for them to do is speak to real estate agents. The agents will know what property is available for sale. They'll know the strengths and weaknesses of different properties. And if they've got a trusted agent that they can speak to who they're comfortable communicating openly with, the agent will be able to direct them towards a property that probably suits their price bracket one, but their appetite for risk as well.
And what about investors then with those established portfolios?
Well, the ones that have been doing it for years have got a bit more market knowledge. They know what properties are likely to go up and down in value. They know what industry type they like. A lot of investors might just pick office buildings because they like office-based tenants. Others will look at industrial and others might look at medical or childcare type facilities.
Sure. And I know here at Civium Civium, that's a real point of difference for you as well, isn't it? You're obviously experts in residential, but also commercial.
Yeah, we're lucky here that we're the only full services agency in all of Canberra, where we've got commercial property management, sales and leasing, residential property management. We've got strata business as well. So we're able to provide the full range of services to clients, and they can spread over different property types, and we will always have an agent or a person within the business that can help them.
Okay, and so back to first timers finally, what's the message?
The message is just to pick a price point that you're comfortable owning a property in, whether it's $500,000, $1 million or maybe more, and then speak to agents. And I would say look at 5 or 10 or 15 properties before you buy one.
Okay. Well, Andrew, it's been fascinating. Thank you so much for spending a few minutes with us.
Not a worry. Thanks, Cam.
Andrew Smith, Civium Property, talking about commercial real estate here in Canberra. To learn more, just go to civium.com.au.